Welcome to our potting shed, the kitchen where we do everything. It is currently 26 degrees outside, snowed yesterday, and we're actually about 2 to 3 weeks behind on getting these planted, so we got to get them done. We're going to do our starts. Most of these are tomatoes and peppers. You want to plant those early so you can harvest them before it's October. These say start 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost. We're using Bentley seeds. They're open pollinated. Some of them are heirloom, and I keep track of that. I mark them where I want them, where they're at in the planter, because if you don't mark them, you can't keep track of your heirloom seeds, and then you're just planting stuff that may or may not give you any yield next year or be the same plant.
Yeah, we actually have some seeds saved from last year, so we'll use those again. I'm just putting the dirt here. I like to just put it in the middle, scoop it out to the edge. I'm not a professional, and I don't really care if it's perfect. I just want...
When we're all done, I'll take the drop cloth out, shake it on the grass/snow.
I'm like, are we really even late? Because...
Yeah, about Mother's Day around here, you don't want to plant outside before Mother's Day. We've got some peppers and peas.
But it's been so cold, I bet it's going to be colder later this year, so we might... I don't know. We might have to build that greenhouse.
Yeah, I think by next year we hopefully will be planting in a greenhouse. So we actually carry these on our website, jamierayvintage.com. If you wanted to pick these up, they're great seeds. We've had good luck with them. So we're excited to have them and be able to carry them for you guys too. It's real easy, shows you how to plant them if you're a first-time gardener. And a lot of gardening, I don't know, there's like 1,000 different ways to do it right. The way I grew up, we put seeds in the dirt in the ground. We always went and just got some cow manure, threw it over the garden, and my mom and my dad and I and my brothers and sisters, we'd pop seeds in the ground, and inevitably they'd come up, and we had a great garden every year.
You guys didn't really pre-start stuff, but you never lived anywhere quite as cold as Utah.
No, we were down in Arizona. It was still freeze, but usually by March we were out of the woods on frost. Occasionally my mom would have us out there throwing like sheets and stuff over all of her cherry trees and peach trees so that she didn't lose those.
I just made a mess, so there you go. Yours looks a lot neater than mine.
You just mush it down flat. All right. We are going to get to planting, and I'm going to bring the boys in for this because they love poking the seeds in. The trouble is we got to make sure we're being organized, right?
Yes.
If you're putting the seeds in, it shows you how deep to put them in on the actual packet. So
we got to remember what's what, because last year we didn't really know. You figure it out once the vegetable grows.
I marked it, but it was a thing. We're going to throw these in the basement with the lights on them. Everything else, like the squashes, I don't think it really mattered that the squashes were started beforehand and they got too big for these little planters by the time we put them in the ground.
There's some random pepper seeds from last year.
So I think those are bell peppers.
They're a variety.
Is that what you're keeping up in those containers?
These are cantaloupe and watermelon, and then I have pumpkin seeds, so I guess we'll wait to put those in the ground till later.
For the peppers. 1 inch.
Quarter inch.
Quarter inch?
Quarter inch.
Okay, Redrick, you've got these. These are the peas. Just go ahead and put them an inch. I think it says an inch down. I don't even know if we've got an inch in these little planters to put them an inch down, but go ahead and put those an inch down.
Do you want me to just put them to the bottom?
Yep, I got 2 packets of peas, so
Okay,
just
I'll fill this up.
Make sure you know where you're putting them. That way I can label them with the marker. And Jack, what do we have here? The red cayenne peppers. We do not want to mix those up.
No.
Okay, so Redrick, you do 1 seed per. Jack, you do 2 seeds per, just to be on the safe side. I always like to have a couple plants coming out of the top.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna put these right here. You think you can get 2 in there?
Yeah.
So to do a quarter inch, I would probably just
poke my finger down.
Poke a little finger hole there, drop them, and then we'll smooth them over.
It says they need to be 12 inches apart.
Well, that's when we plant them in the ground.
Okay.
All right, don't be too exact. Get your little pinchy fingers and just drop them in, and then smooth it over. See, like that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So cayenne pepper, I think we'll be able to get 2 or 3 rows out of the seeds you have there. And are those, these are long and thin, these are open pollinated, they're not heirloom.
killed my seeds.
Luckily yours are big.
Mine? Yeah.
All right, Jack, so I'm gonna go to this row here. If you get past this row, let me know, because this row back is cayenne peppers. I mean, there's not really a wrong way to do it. If you put them in too deep, they might eventually come up. This soil's pretty soft, so those plants can push through pretty good. All right.
Next row.
Next row, you've already got 6 planted. Good job. Redrick's cruising.
Mine?
You don't need to pack it in there, buddy.
But I want to.
But you want to pack it in hard? All right.
That's how I did it last year.
And all your stuff grew.
Yeah, everything grew.
I think we only had, out of all the starts we did last year, we only had 1 or 2 pots that didn't go. Might need to add a little more soil on top of yours.
Yeah.
So the soil we're using is just black gold. Got it down at the hardware store. This is the seedling mix. Next year I'll probably just do my own because we've got so much manure between the chickens and the cow and the sheep.
In that back area over there, we haven't, there's still a bunch of poop back.
Are you saying that you've been slacking on picking up the poop?
What? No, where we kept the chickens and the sheep.
We may be able to use the dog poop.
It might be a little hot. We might actually have to just bring some regular topsoil in and till that in when we're doing it, because those chickens and sheep were there for a whole year.
Oh, yeah. No, more than a year.
No, they were about a year.
No, it was 2.
Maybe a year and a half, yeah.
Yeah, 1.5.
Actually, I think we're only they're 10 months that they might have been over there because we moved them. We moved them last spring, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where am I? I'm here.
You guys don't remember. You didn't even help me build the fence.
Yeah, I did.
I helped.
All right, Redrick's cruising. We'll be back in a sec, and I will show you how I'm going to keep these watered and set up the lighting. Initial soak, we got everything marked and planted. And then after this, we'll probably just go to misting with a spray bottle, because I'm not going to haul them up here every day out of the basement. And we'll show you in the basement my setup in just a sec. Okay, we are headed down into the basement. And this is also known as the dungeon, completely unfinished. So much work to be done down here. The catch-all for the Ray house. It's big space. We need to do something cool with it, but this is where these starts are gonna live. I'm gonna do one more. Haven't decided what we wanna do yet. We really wanna make sure that we're growing things that we're going to eat and not just wasting our time. These are grow lights. They're gonna easily simulate the sun, and then we'll keep you posted on how these are growing, how they're coming up, and maybe even down the road once we get a little farther, show you where they're gonna live in the garden and how we're gonna lay them out. Each one of these containers has 72 plants that will hopefully germinate and grow out of here. We might lose a few of them, but should be pretty good yield. Thanks for hanging out with us today and doing these starts. A little bit of potting soil, little starter kit, water, some lighting, and keep them warm so that they'll germinate, and pretty easy to start plants. Hopefully it'll warm up soon so that we can actually start working outside in the garden, and there's a few things that we could plant now. I think carrots would do all right. It's not supposed to freeze too much more, so by the time the carrots start poking up, we'd probably have warmer weather, but we'll see how that goes. Make sure you're subscribed so you can follow along. We got a lot of videos coming up that are gonna be pretty fun, and hopefully you learn something from them.